First of all, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm wearing a mask, but there's only 3 people in the courtroom, so I'm taking this mask off. So you know why I have a court rule, everyone has to wear a mask, but I'm taking my mask off. We're ready to start off on a civil trial called Nita Liquor Commission versus Cut Rate Liquor and Jones. I'm going to have my bailiff open up court, Mr. Popovich.
Hearing, hearing, hearing. The Court of Common Pleas is now in session. The Honorable Brendan J. Sheehan presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a case, a civil case, brought by the Nita Liquor Control Commission against Cut Rate Liquor and Dan Jones for knowingly selling an intoxicated beverage to an intoxicated person in violation of Regulation 3.102 on June 5th, 2019 in the city of Nita. The defendants deny this allegation. As you know, the first order of business in our trial and our jurisprudence is the jury voir dire. And we appreciate all of you partaking in this jury voir dire by way of Zoom. I'm going to turn it over to our plaintiff's attorney, Mr. Eric Rosen. Would you like to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. May it please the court. And good afternoon, everyone. And first of all, my name is Eric Rosen, and I represent the Nita Liquor Commission. And I want to thank all of you for participating in this very unique trial. The right to a trial by jury is a fundamental right that's guaranteed by the United States Constitution, and you can see how important that constitutional right is by us, the lengths that we will go to continue that right and continue our civil justice system moving forward and having trials like this with this type of technology case. And the point is we want to find a fair and impartial jury. We want a jury that's not going to give an advantage or disadvantage to either side. And so, as I said, my time is limited, so I'm going to try to be as organized as possible and move through this quickly. I'm going to try to do some things here with the court technology and bring up a screen for you to look at. And the first question that I have, and if anyone has trouble seeing that, just raise your hand. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask a question, and then I'm going to ask you yes or no to this question. So, for instance, some people have strong opinions about law enforcement. And my question to you is, how many of you, because of some type of experience that you've had, or maybe something that you've read or heard, you have negative feelings, even a little bit, towards police or law enforcement? Juror number 1, tell me, do you have any negative feelings just based on your life experience towards police officers?
No, I do not.
Thank you. Juror number 2, any negative feelings?
No.
Thank you. Juror number 3. Did you have a prior jury experience?
Yes, I did.
And tell me, was it a positive experience, good experience? Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, it was a positive experience.
Okay, were you the foreperson in that case?
I was not, no.
Okay. Number 11, this is Ms. Brown. How are you?
I'm good. How are
there
you?
You are. I understand that you have a close friend that was harmed by alcohol. Is that my understanding?
Yeah, I don't really feel comfortable answering this in front of everyone. Is there a way we can?
Thank you, Ms. Thank you, juror number. I'm sorry, I got to look at her number again. Number 11. I'm sorry. What I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go to sidebar with juror number 11. During that time, it'll be outside of your presence. We're going to talk at sidebar. I'm going to go to a breakout room with juror number 11 and both counsel to talk about this issue at sidebar, okay? Okay. Thank you, juror number 11. I'm sorry that we had to bring this up in front of others, but I'm going to allow the plaintiff to inquire. Unfortunately, these are the questions that have to be asked during this process. So, Mr. Rosen, would you like to inquire further?
Yes, Your Honor. And Thank you, Ms. Brown. I appreciate you being honest, and I understand that you didn't want to share it in front of everyone. So tell me, what was the experience you had with someone who was harmed by alcohol?
Okay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. Mr. Rosen, you may continue. The next order of business in this matter is opening statements. Opening statements are not evidence in the trial. What the lawyers believe the evidence will show. It's kind of like going to a movie and watching a preview of the movie. And again, the plaintiff has the burden of proof in this matter. Mr. Rosen, would you like to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor, may it please the court. And good afternoon. You are the lucky six. So thank you so much for participating and for being jurors in this case. And so in the city of Nita, if a company or corporation or a liquor store is going to sell alcohol to the public, they have to follow certain rules. And one of the rules, one of the most important rules is they are not allowed to sell alcohol, knowingly sell alcohol to someone who is intoxicated. It's not permitted.
Ms. Parker, on behalf of the defense, opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, hello again. Let me tell you my name again, Stephanie Parker, and I want to thank you for serving as jurors today. And I'm very proud to be here representing the defendant, Dan Jones. And Mr. Jones is the one who was sued by the plaintiff, represented by Mr. Rosen. Here's the most important thing you're going to hear about my client's case today, and that is that Dan Jones has no burden of proof. He doesn't have to prove anything. The plaintiff has the entire burden of proof, and right now the plaintiff is at zero. The plaintiff is required under the law to prove each and every element of his claim.
Okay, is the plaintiff ready? Is everyone doing okay? Plaintiff, ready to call your first witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The plaintiff calls Investigator James Beer.
Go
Go ahead
ahead.
and introduce yourself to the jury, please.
Yeah, hi, I am James Beer. Thanks for having me here today.
And James, Investigator Beer, what is your occupation? Who do you work for?
I work for the Nita City Liquor Commission.
And what is your job duty there?
My job duty is to make sure that all of the liquor commission's regulations are kept up with, that the local businesses are in compliance with those regulations.
Let's go ahead and we'll bring that up. And so why were you out there? Why were you at the Liquor Commission? Or why were you at the cut rate liquor?
Your Honor, objection that calls for hearsay under Rule 801.
Let's we'll do a sidebar at this point.
All right. Hey, welcome. Sorry about that. I was going to overrule your objection, but I wanted to find out, there's someone in the waiting room. Who is it? Don Jones?
Dan Jones.
Dan Jones. Is that your witness, defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, good. So we're not letting him in the meeting yet, but he's in the waiting room. All right, got it. All right, you want to be heard on your objection, defense?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe that it's the question is asking for hearsay as to why Investigator Beer was located where he was the night of June 5th.
All right, thank you. And for the record, that objection was overruled. You may continue, counsel.
So Investigator Beer, tell the folks in the jury, why were you stationed out there that night?
So with that being said, is the defense going to be calling any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. We would like to call Dan Jones, my client, to the stand.
All right. Get Jones in.
Okay.
Is the jurors doing okay? Everyone okay? All right, good. Mr. Jones, welcome to our court. Would you like to raise your right hand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this case now and hearing, as you shall answer unto God? Say I do.
I do.
All right, thank you. Ms. Parker, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. Jones.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to start by asking you some questions about your job. Where do you work?
I am the night manager at a liquor store called Cut Rate Liquors. I work the evening shift there from 4 to midnight on weekdays. I'm also a member of the Naval Reserves.
And how long have you been a member of the Naval Reserves?
Actually, about as long as I've worked at Cut Rate Liquors.
Before we go to the next phase of this trial, I am very conscious of jurors paying attention and making sure you give us your full attention. I think this might be a good time to everyone mute your computers and allow a 3-minute recess to use the restroom, stand up and stretch. So before we go to the next phase of the trial, which is closing arguments. Is there any objection by any counsel to taking a 3 to 5 minute recess? And just mute your computers and wait for all jurors to come back to make sure everyone's okay. All right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. No objection.
All right, 3 to 5 minute recess. All right, thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I see the others look more refreshed and smiling on your face. So that was a good recess. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next order of business of this trial is closing arguments. Before we get to closing arguments, the parties have agreed to allow me to read you the law that applies to this case before you hear closing arguments. This is a law that applies. The parties will be then able to reference the laws. This will help you while listening to the closing argument.
Bloodshot, glassy eyes, slurred speech, the smell of alcohol coming off this guy. He couldn't do any field sobriety exercises. So when you answer this question, the answer, we've talked yes to all of those things. The answer to this question is yes. And I want to thank each one of you for your service in this case. We truly appreciate it during this unprecedented time. Thank you.
Mr. Jones did not knowingly sell liquor to an intoxicated person. There has been a complete failure of proof on every one of these elements in the case. So, ladies and gentlemen, the plaintiff simply has not proven its case to you. And for that reason, I respectfully ask you to return a verdict in favor of the defense, in favor of Dan Jones. I want to join Mr. Rosen and thank you for your time and your attention this afternoon. We very much appreciate your service. We hope you've enjoyed this experience. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Final close, Mr. Rosen.
No rebuttal by agreement, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, rounding third and heading home. All right. First of all, you've heard the law that applies to this case. We will place you in a jury room. The first order of business would be to select one of your number to be the foreperson. Once the parties have agreed, once you've selected a foreperson, to reach a verdict in this matter, all 6 of you will need to be in agreement on that verdict. When you're back there, you should not divulge to anyone the status of your deliberations, not to me, not to anyone of my staff, nor will anyone know your verdict till it is announced back in this open court. The verdict that you as a body reach is your own. There's no right or wrong verdict, so long as you consider all the evidence, listen and follow the instructions of law that I have given you. Ladies and gentlemen, this case is now in your hands for a verdict, and Andrea will place the 8 jurors in the jury box along with our bailiff, Michael.
Hi all,
do this.
sorry to interrupt.
No.
A verdict has been reached.
Jurors, welcome back. My bailiff, virtual bailiff, Michael Pressman, has notified me that you've reached a verdict. Is that correct?
Yes.
The jury foreman is juror number 1.
Yes.
Juror number 1, I'm going to ask you, would you like to please announce your verdict publicly, how the jury finds?
The jury finds votes in favor of the plaintiff.
Votes in favor of the plaintiff. And I'm going to ask each juror, is that accurate? And is that your decision? I'm going to start with juror number 1. Is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 2, is that your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Juror number 3, is that your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Juror number 4, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Thank you. I believe I polled all 8 members of the jury. Any questions by, or anything by plaintiff or defendant at this time?
No, Your Honor.
I think we'd both like to thank the jurors from our perspective as well for serving this afternoon, and hope you all enjoyed it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to thank you on behalf of the court, the party, the Civil Jury Project, all members out there in YouTube land who are watching this trial. I want to thank you for your service